Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, a warm welcome to all of you who join us today at the University of Applied Sciences in St Gallen. It's a great honor to welcome you here for this launch of the new and global initiative of Women's Brain Project. They are important biological, psychosocial and behavioral differences between the two genders to be observed. These differences are reflected in the manifestation of diseases, the approach to health and healthcare and other issues. Although we observe these differences, there is still a huge lack of gender-specific healthcare and gender-specific health research. But more and more people will be aged 65 years and older. And, on the other hand, as a consequence of the differences in life expectancy, we expect the most of old and very old people to be women. As we say, old age is female.
Because we are all convinced of the need for gender-based research. In the area of Alzheimer and other related diseases, the figures are staggering. Actually, Alzheimer's Association Switzerland just published the recent figures last Sunday. There are now 144,000 people living with this disease. That's 27,000 new cases every year. On a global scale worldwide, it's 11 million people every year that have this disease. 2/3 are women, 60% are in low and middle income countries. 70% of the carers are women. Finally, last but not least, I think we have another great tool that allows us to push for the agenda for the Women's Brain Project. And those tools are the Sustainable Development Goals that have been adopted also by the 194 member states of the UN 2 years ago in New York. The goal number 3 and 5 are concerning health as well as gender issues. And so those give us ground to act. First, to ensure healthy lives and promote the well-being for all at all ages, and to achieve gender equality and empower women and girls. This includes also mental health and the importance of gender-based research. And this is why we are here and gathered today to push the boundaries for brain research for women. Thank you very much.
Men and women are different. We are biologically different, we have different needs. And so our goal is to identify the specific needs related to women's brain health, because we're really focusing on brain health. We want to advocate for change in the way we are currently developing drugs and clinical research. And we want to position the findings for the benefit of the society. So we want to benefit everybody, not just women. We think that by supporting women's brain health, we will be really able to change and improve the whole society, not just women. So we think that men and women have an equal right to health. And this, I think we all agree on that. However, the way to get to this equal right to health might be different. Different treatments, different prevention therapies, different diagnostic therapies, and diagnostic tools, and so on. So what we are saying, our motto is that we need differential research for equal treatment. And this will involve the way we do preclinical drug development in animal studies, the way we do clinical studies, and especially clinical trials. We have to take into consideration the sex and gender effect, which is not currently taken sufficiently. And all in all, we think this will really have to change the way the patients are managed in medical care currently. So we are basically advocating for a change in this direction, and we are targeting 3 groups, basically. We are doing advocacy at the level of the scientific community, we are doing advocacy at the level of the public awareness, and we also want to advocate for patients and caregivers. We're quite ambitious, I have to say. We want to do everything, but we can do it. If we think that such differences exist, let's go and have a look at diseases. Do diseases affect the two brains in a different way, in a different scale, in a different proportion? Here I'm presenting to you some prevalent ratio numbers according to what is published on the scientific literature. And just to make you a list, we have anencephaly. Anencephaly, it is a pathology which starts already in utero during the developmental phase of the brain, and surprisingly, it happens more frequently into female brain versus male one. Same thing is for certain kind of brain tumor. Look at meningioma. Meningioma, it is more frequent in female brain versus male one. Depression, anxiety disorder, Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis, and finally, a recently diagnosed new disease, which is called anti-NMDA receptor encephalitis. What about drugs? Do we have an idea whether drugs are taking this difference into account? Unfortunately, I have to share with you just my personal opinion, but my impression is not at all. This is a meta-analysis which has been conducted by Zurcher and its colleague at the University of California and published about 6 years ago. They've looked at 2,000 papers which were published in the most prominent journals in these specific fields, and what they find out, surprisingly, that those fields where maybe the gender and sex effects should have been taken into account at most, where those fields where in fact most of the experiments were done using male mice. And this is about endocrinology, this is about neuroscience, and surprisingly pharmacology, where we know that the metabolism, how certain drugs are processed by the female body, will differ from the male one. Now, what we know but from practical experience? I mean, what is really happening then with drugs when they are prescribed to female, when they are prescribed to men? This is about zolpidem. It's a very common drug used to help people to sleep. In 2013, the FDA made a public announcement recommending and implementing the decision that the dosage of this drug must have been reduced of the half in the female population as compared to the male one, simply because the side effects of this drug were much more pronounced in the women population versus the male one.
What's about the brain? What's happening with the brain? So, for example, it's a couple of days ago. This is Elon Musk, the one that is made the Tesla car, the autonomous car, the one that is bringing the people. He wants to bring the people on space, but just regular people, so a commodity. And 2 days ago, he actually founded a company called Neuralink, and he wants to do some neuro implants in order to connect the human with things, with situation. So we are starting actually to apply this kind of technologies heavily on brain. What if one sex only with artificial intelligence? Thank you.
Right, I'm here today to talk about my mother, and it's a great honour really to be here to represent her and really as I guess a tribute to who my mother is as a human being in trying to support the Women's Brain Project. It's quite difficult when you're talking about someone with Alzheimer's not to refer to them in the past tense as though somehow their soul is already in the next world.
I'm here today to tell you a little bit about my life. My life has been shaped by many different factors. I'm a wife to my wonderful husband Anders, and we have been together for 18 years. Yeah. I'm also a daughter, a friend, a colleague, a dog owner, a mother of 2 beautiful children that are turning 17 and 14 this year. The latest and least joyful factor that has shaped me came into my life a little more than a year ago. I'm incurable in Alzheimer's. So, to be sick in Alzheimer's manifests to me in different things. First of all, it's a big relief to know what's wrong with me, because it took so much energy for me to convince different doctors to keep looking and testing me for. At the same time, it's important for me to stay in the moment and don't stress, because stress makes my symptoms worse. So it's not easy being a woman, mother, wife, daughter, friend, dog owner, work colleague. In fact, the easiest thing in my life is to be incurable in Alzheimer's. I can always say, sorry, I forgot. Sounds horrible, but it is my reality. Because I want to be that mother, wife, friend, dog owner, daughter that makes a difference. So my kids never have to say, sorry, I forgot. Thank you.
Thousands of mentally ill women are left abandoned in Indian roads and religious places to die. They are sufferers of complex mental disorders like schizophrenia and allied mental disorders, along with mental disorders suffering from physical disorders and critical illnesses. We don't have exact official data regarding the exact numbers, but it has been assumed that more than 1 crore women are living on road in India.